Let me ask you something. Are you getting everything out of your rent-to-own business? If you're not an A-Pro member, then the answer is probably no. Look, advocacy is A-Pro's bread and butter. This is why they were created and what they do best. But here's the thing. A-Pro membership is about way more than advocacy. A-Pro connects you to the movers and the shakers of the industry, people who've been there, done that, and they can help you do it even better. A-Pro's monthly webinars give you expert insights and actionable takeaways. It's like having a masterclass for your business every single month. Got questions about complex regulations or sticky situations? No problem. A-Pro's legal hotline gives you direct access to experts who have got the answers. That's a peace of mind that you can't put a price on. And let's not forget the resources, news, updates, and tools that keep you ahead of the curve. Scholarships for your team? Check. Disaster relief when you need it most? Double check. A-Pro is your ultimate support system in the rent-to-own world. So stop settling for less. With A-Pro, members get more. More support, more connections, and more success. Head over to rtohq.org and join the A-Pro family today. Because in this business, more isn't just better. It's essential. See you at the top with A-Pro. Hello and welcome, RTO family. This is Pete. Just wanted to let you guys know that this is our first interview out of the RTO studios, and we did have some technical difficulties, unfortunately, but we didn't want to not bring this to you. It was a great interview, so bear with us. It's going to sound a little crazy at first, but it's going to get better, I promise. Wait to the end. It gets so much better at the bottom half, but here we are, Danny and I doing our first live interview with George Jaramillo. Here you go.
And welcome to the RTO Show with Danny and Pete. I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm your host, Pete. And today we're talking to George Jaramillo about rent-to-own and to be an OG in the business for years and years and years and get some advice on what's going on in today's climate in rent-to-own.
George is definitely an OG in the game. If you don't know about him, you're not from Tampa, I'll tell you that.
George, introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've been in the business.
Well, been in the business since 2003. Started at ranking. It was just a long shot. That I was actually, before that, I was working for Hertz, and one of my coworkers started working at ranking and said, "Hey, bro, they need a bilingual." I said, "You're the only douchebag that I know. Just gonna have you come in and apply for the interview." And I actually went there on my birthday and applied for the job, and that's the beginning of a beautiful thing, as I remember.
That's awesome. How many RTO companies have you worked for?
So I started with ranking, and I worked there from sales. I did collections. Then they offered me a position to run a store. It was the largest store. Took me about 9 months to get to that level with them, and hopefully I took that store and make it a very successful story in that store. We started at that store with 1,100 items on rent, and by the time I got out of there, I left it at 1,500. We were over $1.7 million collected a year.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a good profit store, and that got noted by the owners of the company, and they said, "Well, you're doing so well. Can you do that times 6?" You know how it is. Yep. I said, "Well, I'll try it. So I got my first gig as a DM back in 2006. And what you guys do is an amazing job, because being a DM is no joke. You just have no breaks. You have no time to family, nothing. It's just work. And when you think you are off in one store, the other store crumbles down, and then there you go up with a fire hose, try to prevent more fires. So I work with ranking, and I did that DM thing, and then I move on to put fires out, go in and fix a store after a store after a store. So I run about 6 stores and just turn them around, get them profit-wise, give the key to another manager, and move on until I find myself with one of the owners who said, "Hey, I got the same problem, but in another company, in Great Rooms." So I moved to Great Rooms back in 2013, and I've been here since then. I think I just love them. And so 2 companies to make a love story short, and it really has been very, very fulfilling. Nice coming into a place, clean it, fix it, and move on to the next one. And now I'm just enjoy the all the hard work that we did in the beginning of this.
And not to mention, I'm going to speak a little facts here, but you are the biggest Great Room store, correct?
Well, in terms of, yes. So to answer that, so we have the most BOR on rent, the most revenue collected, the biggest on profit.
Yes.
And we love that, but mostly the owners love it.
I bet they do.
Definitely. We just like to be part of being something that brings revenue, and then we got the owners not yelling and screaming so much by always, hey, thank you for the profits. Now I can afford a new Jaguar and get myself a little vacation on Rome and have a good time on my new boat. And we're all for that, man. It's just, there's no hate. There's nothing but love.
Now, have you always been at this location for Great Rooms?
Yes. The other locations are way too far for me to travel, and then they're independently owned by other guys. So this is the one that's owned by Larry Bibble and Chris Kell. So I'm just running the store for the time being. The other guys own and operate their own store. So unless, they get bought out, I have no reason.
and we're in the Armenia location.
Correct. Armenian Waters.
There you go.
So we're on Armenian Waters in the Tampa Bay area. So you've done Rent King. You kind of almost conquered that. You got the DM role. Then you decided to take a move over to Great Rooms, try something different.
Right.
So then the question is, what do you consider probably, so to date, one of your biggest achievements?
So, always.
Always. Work never stops, guys.
Never and never. I consider my achievements at various, man. It's every time I get to the store, and when you give a store the best, and you get that day at the store and it's all in symbols. You work in there, you walk into the store, it's a mess. Credit is up the roof, having lunch, lobster, and is out of 30s and 40s and 50s. Your delivery crew has very little knowledge of what they have to do. So once you transform the floor of the store, you get your credit back in line, and you train all your people, you consider yourself like you have accomplished anything. So you do that a couple times, and you feel that is kind of unique for considering yourself that you do something of value. So it's an accomplishment, guy. I feel like every store that I have and I have touched and I have worked on, take it from a negative level to being positive and creating profit for the owners. You feel like, yeah, this is a good accomplishment. This is something that it shows that you're there with a good plan, a good execution, and a good performance. And at the end, and it shows when you see the profit from red into a black number.
So you're a fixer. So that's hands down, that's your thing. You're a fixer. That's even at a personal, that's what you like to do. If the worse it is, the more you come in, you clean it up, and that's your accomplishment. That's, you handle things.
Exactly. It'll get you excited going to a place where they say, hey, bro, the store is a mess, credit is a mess, nobody wants to work, morale is low, and you go there and you have to make a lot of changes. One is you have to perhaps change some of the crew, if not all the crew, and retrain people. But it's at the end of that. It doesn't take a day. It takes a couple months to get from one level to another. I'll give you an instance. I moved to the Brandon store, which it was a mess. When you walked in, you just didn't want to walk in. Credit was high, really freaking high. And as soon as I walked in, the drivers quit.
Oh my God!
I didn't know why was that belong or why was that outcome, but I guess I was portrayed as the guy who was going to get them fired anyway. So it took me a month to get the right crew, get the right guy. I got a guy called Michael Marine. I got him into the collections, and we worked on him.
Mike.
He's a great guy, man. I love that kid. He was into it. And we work as a team. We cleaned it. We got credit back on track. And then the next month, we hit store of the month, and the profits were back again. The store looked amazing. And then just from then on, bro, it was just like, wow, we can do this over and over again. It's just the attitude that you have to have when you walk in the store, as if, like, whatever happened before is in the past now is a new reign. Let's all work together. And then when they see you as a DM or as a manager working along the guys, hand in hand, making phone calls, building stuff, cleaning stuff, doing deliveries, they feel like we actually working as a team. It's not just a guy barking orders, have everything done. It's just a guy that does that plus does the work.
Well, I mean, you got to have structure, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a plan.
It's funny. I'm sitting here talking to both of you, and I'm recapping. George, I know a lot about you, especially at Rent King. So, went to Largo, blew it up. Brandon, he holds Pete. I'm telling you because you ran the Brandon store. He holds the record for the Brandon for the highest par to date. No one's ever been able to beat that. Pete also you ran it very successfully when you were there in 2018, not 2019, all of 2019. Yeah. And so ran Largo successfully, ran Brandon successfully, ran your division successfully. You've been doing great rooms very successfully. What is, in your opinion, the number one key rule to running a successful RTO business?
So I don't know if that's the number one, but it's what I apply. And, everybody has a different taste and things that work for them. And with all respect, that's great. But what does work for me is the moment I walk through the store, I got to start thinking, if I was a customer and I walk into this store and one, smells good. That is my first impression. So
I mentioned that as soon as I walked in today. As soon as we walked in, George was like, man, it smells like Christmas in here. And your response was, Danny, it is Christmas.
Yeah. So we activate all kind of senses into the customer. So my first thing is, hey, when I walk in, I want to smell good. Then the second thing is I want to look something good. So the store's got to be like, hey, I'm having a big event and the president is coming. So let's have the store clean, tag. Now the third thing is customer service. So it's all about that interaction from the very beginning. I need to have somebody that is very upbeat. If I don't have that one, guess who's going to be? It's going to be me. And I'm a very upbeat guy. I come in, I tell stupid jokes, dad jokes, and come with a smile. And I'm here to serve you kind of attitude, not to take your money, but to get to know you. And that way we crack some jokes, break the ice, have a conversation with the customer. And from that point on, the sale is going on. And after that, it's all about collections, how you treat the people, how well you know the people. In that, in a nutshell, from the moment you walk into the door until the moment you start making the payments, it's all a good experience. And based on that is how you bank on it.
Man, that's some solid advice right there.
So when you started, right, because you've been successful in the business for a while, but when you started, did you have somebody that you kind of mirrored your style off of, or did you have somebody that you went to and said, I want to do this, or did you kind of just say, I'm George, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to figure out how to make what I'm doing work?
Well, my mentor at the beginning was a guy named Chris Mueller.
Shout out to the mule.
Get out of here, man. Chris has been in the game for a long time.
He was that guy who has me on the interview, and was a very solid guy, very straightforward. So he was kind of my mentor for the rent-to-own. We knew as Hispanics what rent-to-own means because my mother used rent-to-own.
Mm-hmm.
All our needs from furniture to appliances, but we were kids and I didn't know what those things were getting paid, how we didn't pay, but she was paying on it, and goddamn, she paid it all, and we moved on. So that was my take on rent-to-own. But now being on the other side of the spectrum, I have no idea what rent-to-own was until I walked into the store. So Mule kind of took the time and explained, and this is what we do, and this is how we do it. And after a while, this is how we'll look into profits. This is what you got to collect at the end of the month, and kind of show me all the nitty gritty of that. Then I just add my sales skills that I obtained in my previous lives, because I was a salesman way before that was me. And then just combine them together and made up a very successful career that I think it is.
I could definitely see that. You've been selling ice. You could sell ice to an Eskimo, George, couldn't you?
Well, not really, but it's too cold. I'm not going to do that. Now, if they come to Florida, sure, I'm going to sell them for the drinks and stuff, but I'm not going to Canada.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey everyone, it's Pete Chow here from the RTO Show podcast, and I want to tell you about a company that's making a real difference in the rent-to-own space. Wow Brands. I've seen firsthand how they approach marketing. And let me tell you, it's not just about ads. Wow Brands builds complete digital ecosystems designed specifically for the rent-to-own industry. Their e-commerce and lead generation strategies are built to bring in qualified leads. And did I mention that they are actively working with the rent-to-own industry while also being members of APRO and TRIB? Listen, these folks are passionate problem solvers. They don't just slap something together. They design, build, and scale the kind of digital retail tools your business needs and your customers actually want. So if you're serious about growing, reach out to Wow Brands at wowbrands.com. I trust them, and I think you will too.
Hey, so real quick, off top, you say you like dad jokes. I got one for you. All right, you're right. Okay. Why do cows have cowbells? Because their horns don't work.
Bro, stop it. Stop.
You can use that one later.
Yeah, you bet I will.
So-
Okay, so you got trained. Chris Mueller, another legend in the game. You put your own sales twist on it. That's why you've been so successful. So what do you look for when you're hiring and interviewing employees for yourself?
If we look at 2019 and before that, the interviews were fun to have. You actually were looking forward to meet new people, and we did a lot of job fairs, and I love the job fairs because I meet so many people, and it gets me going.
Yeah.
That's a great tool to get new employees. So back then, we sat down with people, we analyzed what they're going to say. We were always thinking. We love their attitude, and then we start just draining them with questions and what have you to give them the best position available to the qualities they have and whatever they bring to the table. So my first take on those days were just an attitude. What attitude this guy have for the job? And I'm looking. Now, if you're a driver, all I need to know is, can you lift and can you drive? And can you read instructions about how to put things together? And if so, I take them to the back and say, okay, build me this table. I gave you 15 minutes. I'll leave you alone, and I'll come back in 15 minutes. And they say, am I getting paid for that? No, this is part of the interview. Just want to make sure that you can read instructions, because it's pivotal to this business that you do that. We're building a lot of stuff on a daily basis. That's prior to 2019. Now, bro, from COVID days to this day, I have so many jobs opening and so little people showing up. Although everybody said that's coming, and you have these phone interviews and everybody's unexcited, and they never showed up. The ones that showed up, they're underqualified. And the ones you'd be able to drain and get and filter, that they don't show up the first day to work. And the ones that showed up the first day to work, they get the first check and then don't come. So it's now the interview process is just literally something new for everybody, I imagine. So when I have the pleasure of having somebody, obviously, that we have the luck of the planets all line up, and we be able to sit him down and have a conversation with him. What I look for him is the attitude they have, and what questions do they have for me and for the company. That's a first giveaway that these people really wants to do this, and they really want to work, and they really are going to be invested on whatever we bring them to the table. And then the last thing we always talk is everybody's thing is how am I getting paid? What am I getting paid? And all those things. And we created a bonus plan for everybody. And our salaries are very, very competitive with every other industry. Managers make good money, anything between $40,000 to $60,000 a year. And for what we do, it really is a good pay job. So it's attitude in a nutshell. It's you have their attitude, and you're a good fit for our attitude here in the store in terms of collections and sales. And because we deal with you guys as a family, as an employees, more than we deal with our own kids. I see my kids maybe 2 hours a day. I see these guys for 8 hours a day. So I know what they like. I really know what they want to eat. I know their families. I know their issues. And I even know, I look at my clock and say, hey, bro, it's 11 a.m. Isn't that the time you need to go to the bathroom? Because, you're on a schedule for that. So we get to know our employees that much, that long, then they need to be a good fit for us. And that's probably the best part of interviewing people, getting to add another member to your family.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. Unlimited Marketing Solutions is a social media marketing company that can market directly to your specific customer base and provide solid and trackable results. Unlimited Marketing Solutions are also extremely flexible to meet your unique needs and budget and are currently running a promotion for 10% discount off your first 6 months of marketing when you mention the code RTO Show. That's RTOSHOW when you call them at 352-553-3245. You can also email them at unlimitedmarketingsolutions@gmail.com. And now back to the podcast. So when you first started, right, you started with Mule.
Right.
And he kind of brought you in and kind of showed you everything. What would you say the best advice that you had gotten, or some advice that you would give to somebody who's new to the business, who you want to be successful? What advice would you give them, and what advice did you get, maybe the words of wisdom that Mueller gave you that would say, hey, man, that really stuck with me for my years of being in rent-to-own?
So that all depends on what position you work in. I remember the best advice Mule gave me in terms of managing your crew is you always are listening. So, it seems like you just walking by and pretending to do something, but in reality, you are listening to the conversations of the guys in collections, and you linger for a little bit to see the outcome of that conversation. And then at any time, sometimes I do the same, and sometimes he did that. He goes and tap you on your shoulders and put it on hold. And you have to talk to the customer. Say, hey, let me put you on hold because I got something going on, and I'd be right back with you. And then there comes the advice from the Mule. I want you to look at this history. I want you to look at the last payment, how much payment his customers is paying in total since he opened the account, how much he has paid since he had the first account, how late it has been, and look at the history of all the payments and look what he's got and what value it represents to you. Do you think this customer has something that you can resell, or it has something that you don't want to back? And with that in mind, make the best conclusion out of that conversation. So it's a lot of things to look at, but it's the same advice that I give to my collection team when they are. So it's not like, oh, give me the phone I handle with this customer, because then my employee's not going to learn anything but, hey, I got a really bad customer. Let me give you this phone to you.
Right.
So for that reason, I learned that from the Mule, and then that kind of keeps me away from collections while I'm supervising. Collections is being done the right way. So my advice, it'll be that. And now for the drivers, it's always like, bro, you got to lift with your legs, not your back.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because and don't ever jump on the truck. And it's funny, I said that, don't jump on the truck, and people look at you, it's like, why would I jump on the truck? And before I know, they're jumping off the truck and landing on their feet and hurting themselves. It's like, oh,
Yes.
that is amazing. So the advice for the sales guy is just like, bro, this is retail. So remember the life you had? Yeah, that is
Over.
Over. It's now from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. between calling, getting customers, typing, getting the store ready for the next day. That is retail, and that's 5 days a week. It used to be 6, but 5 days a week now. So the advice is always you're into a twilight zone where you get compensated for the time you're given. You're going to have a lot of family, new members, and I'll have tons of fun, but it's a change. It's a change. It's something you cannot see when you have an interview or when you first come in, but it's something that as you move in, it will get into you.
Speaking of sales, you've been around for a while. So have you noticed yourself a decrease in foot traffic and an increase in web leads, web sales? And how have you transitioned into this new sales atmosphere?
It is so much indeed, bro. That is an amazing. There's some days that you barely see people in the store. Only the ones that come and pay because they built on that relationship. That somehow they have to come in, look at your ugly face and say, yeah, there's my money, and how the heck you're doing. Other than that, man, it's all web leads mainly. And unfortunately, we have to deal with it as part of our daily basis. So now instead of, oh, well, let me show you what I have on the floor is, let me text you what I have on the floor. Let me send you
pictures,
some
right? Yeah, pictures.
Send you
big.
some pictures and send you the price. And now they'll be like, oh, I'm looking for this on the catalogs. Well, you can go to the website and then we can do this together over the phone because you don't want them to hang up and you don't have any information about it. So they're looking at the website, you're looking at the website, and it's like, oh, yeah, you're looking at mygreatrooms.com. There you go. And this is the furniture that we have, and I can get you that. You see the price. I can order that for you, and we take the order form. You're going to email me proof of income or proof of residency or proof your ID, and everything is done. You don't even know the customer, and we'll put them on automatic payment. So we just like, we never see this guy. So it's a big difference, but it's still the relationship gets built over text, phones, and messages rather than in person. But it's what it is, and it's something new.
Do you feel like it's easier or harder to build that relationship because it's digital versus face-to-face? I know I've been in the industry a long time. I know Danny's been doing it now a while. I'm always been a face-to-face person. I like when somebody comes in, or at least on the phone, so they can hear my inflection, or when I say something, or they know when I'm making a joke. It's not, sometimes on text it doesn't sound the same, right? You say it and you're like, oh God, I hope I didn't offend anybody. But now digitally, do you find it harder to really make that connection?
It is indeed harder to make that connection because they don't know you, and they know the voice. And sometimes when they come to the store, they look at you as like, well, you don't sound like Melissa. It's like, well, I'm not Melissa. I'm not. No, so that's what you're looking for. I get it right away. But, and you kind of lost all that talk that you have, not related to business. Because sometimes you talk to the customer and you find common grounds like, oh, I like old cars. Oh, shit, what are you building now? Oh, I'm building a 65 Caddy. Something that on text, it doesn't come up. Or many of the customers, they come in and they know I love cooking. I used to be a chef back in the days. So we talk about food recipes and new diners coming around or some food. And that's something that test doesn't allow you. But if you're in front of somebody, you can come up with conversations regarding food, holidays, sports. And no, the only thing I'm staying away is politics, religion, and I think that's and mother-in-laws.
See, maybe because I'm a millennial, but see, I am a texter. I love this business. I love generating reports and a relationship. But see, I find it so much easier through text and emails. Because one, I'm multitasking. Two, I can talk to multiple people at the same time. I can have meaningful conversations. I can close a sale.
Actually, I just saw some scientific evidence that people who multitask actually don't. It's actually less. So if I was devoting myself to just one task, I'd actually do it a lot better than somebody who multitasks.
No, I think
so. You got to be careful, like doing too many things at once. If a customer's there, do you really give them all the attention that they should get? I don't know. That's why I kind of like it face to face. But I understand that that's not the way it's going. It's actually going to more digital.
I think we can agree, though. It's going into that era, though. It's already here. And a lot of the millennials, they don't want the chit chat. They want straight to the point. Hey, how much is this? Okay, cool with my payments. All right, set me up. Talk to you next week.
Agreed. That is what I see the most in younger people. That is what they go for, and then you got to go with it if you want the business. Now, if you're looking at older generations, then they're still into some texting because they want to be part of it, but some actually rather be talking to people, even over the phone or when they come in. So we have to combine ourselves and mute ourselves to a new ways of business that if we want to be active, if we want to be profitable, if we want to be in the know, as you will say.
So what do you think in the last 15 years, let's just say the last 15 years, because I think the internet really started hitting big, 2005 or something like that, Facebook and stuff like that. What is that the biggest change that you've probably seen in rent to own? Is it going the digital route, or is there another big change that's happened probably in the last decade and a half that kind of sticks out even more?
So one thing that I like, bro, is I remember when I started, we have these projection TVs. I remember when there was Apex and the 65-inch. It was all wooden case. That thing needs 3 people to get delivered. And it's got these little wheels that it were not meant to hold any weight more than 2 pounds. They break just by you looking at them. So to take that monster of a TV to a second floor, you definitely need to have 3 guys. Now to think of that versus a 65-inch TV today, it just one person can carry that lightly. So technology, I can see the big things getting lighter and lighter and better quality in pictures and all that. Furniture is still the same. Couches are still the same, although some couches come with, portable chargers, automatics, massagers, and all this. Beds now comes with adjustable frames.
In a box, right?
In a box. And adjustable frames with, Wi-Fi and massagers and portable things for charge the phones and what have you. So technology has improved so much, and I love that part. They keep us up on our feet. But in terms of rent-to-own, I think that we are doing so well on rent-to-own that we have competition from places that we were never seen. Some other companies that now start financing anything and everything. They're doing that basically rent-to-own. You can pay them weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. So if I'm going to do my roof in my house, there's a company that finance me rent-to-own it. The roof, tires, works like Pep Boys. You can have your whole engine being financed by another company doing rent-to-own. So now we have so much competition, not only on our furniture, but everything else. So that kind of sucks because it was nice to be the king on rent-to-own. Now that everybody's doing it, we kind of coming down. So that part of the last 15 years, it's a scary. It's a scary, but we're still here. We're still here.
Talking about like competition and social media, right? Competition in general, and then you bring in social media. There's a lot of platforms. There's Instagram and Facebook. But you're doing pretty good on TikTok. Where did that come from?
So it is funny, bro. My boss was telling me, you better listen to the new technology. And I was like, bro, it's one thing to see them. It's another thing to make them. And you have to have some know-how, some qualities. And I'm always looking at them as like, how the hell am I going to figure this thing out? Mm-hmm. And I couldn't. So we have a market manager called Amberly Maya, which she does a fantastic job for all of us in terms of...
She helps us way more than we should.
Shout out to Amberly.
She's an amazing woman. God bless her. But obviously, she's not going to have the time to, and the patience, mainly the patience, to say, hey, George, this is how do you do? And you take a picture and you do this and you do that and you add the music and all this thing. I wouldn't put her through that because I'm actually a normal human being that I feels for people that have to deal with me. So the best way was to look for somebody young enough, relatable enough, that can do those things. And I have a customer that said, hey, my daughter just graduated from high school and she's looking for a job to do. So I interviewed her and said, what do you know about TikTok? She said, well, I'm all over TikTok and I can make 1 million TikToks and I can post on Facebook and I can make reels on Facebook and I can do this and I can do that. And I know how to use filters, music and all this. And I look at her like she was talking Chinese to me. And I said, you're hired. I mean, when can you start? That's how. So she's been doing it and she's just 19 years old. Fresh out of high school and she's going to college. So she's a part-timer. And she's all up in that business, man. I couldn't be more happy to have her. Very, very good kid. Does very well. And just glad to be part of that experience.
I personally love watching her TikToks.
She does a great job.
I follow the store. I love it. This is one of the biggest debates I have with people in this business, especially the older generation, no offense, guys. But because a lot of the guys that are not comfortable with the social media, one of their biggest questions always is, well, where's my return? Where's the, I'm not going to get any. That's not what the social media is for. The social media, you're not going to generate sales from it. What you do is brand your store, your company.
Brand awareness.
So, see, here's the thing. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but, Great Rooms Armenia stands in my mind because of all the funny TikToks she does, that it makes me interested. Man, let me go check them out.
Right.
It's not even a deal. It's like, I can't even think of all the funny stuff she does. I can't even think of something that was really promotional. It was just more of like just funny skits, and she's doing product placement. Like she's showing the products. Black Friday I saw that's where she got more direct with the promotions of the sales. But all the other times it's just like funny stuff. Like the thing that sticks out to me the most, she just did a recent one where it starts off like the universe and it goes to Earth and then it goes to Florida and then it comes straight to your store. Great Rooms, and then just a caption: "We were meant to meet together." But see how I can remember that.
Yeah.
I have no idea what sale's going on.
What's on sale right now?
But I know Great Rooms Tampa is on TikTok and they're funny.
Right.
So.
And to add to that is just that I see the outcome of all those because they don't come and they don't call or come and call and say, hey, I saw your ad on TikTok and I'm interested on the TVs. Bro, the funny thing is, hey, I saw she has something called Boss Diaries.
Okay. Yes, I love seeing that, bro.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you are a team player and you let her do that because I actually look forward to those as well.
Yeah, I have to. So just like the first thing they say is, okay, I feel bad for George, but you look like an idiot in there. It's like, hey, bro, I look idiot everywhere. It doesn't mean there. That's the only, it's just product placement. I'm an idiot. I was there. I can look that bad anywhere. But that instigates conversation. And many of the things that come in and say, hey, I saw that girl in TikTok and it made me wonder, what else you guys do? What do you guys sell?
Boom.
And that is the thing. They don't come in for a particular reason, but it's the beginning of a phone call, beginning of a conversation.
Yeah.
I saw that girl in TikTok. That is the number one thing we hear, and that's the reason they call in. And hey, I'm happy.
I see that as a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Because she can cast that line out there and get the people to come in. And then when you come in, you got somebody who's seasoned, who knows how to talk to people. Okay, now we're face to face. This is where I can shine.
Right.
And show you the product, show you how to, all the features and benefits to make this happen.
So real quick, because a lot of people like facts and figures. So real quick, if you don't mind me sharing, how many customers, active customers, do you have? And there's a reason why I'm asking. I'm going to tell you why.
Right. So right now we have 340.
Okay, 342 customers. But you have over 2,000 followers on TikTok.
Right.
That's the key. That's what I'm trying to demonstrate. Is so you could potentially grow more customers by continue marketing because you have 2,000 active followers on that social media platform alone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's the percentage of 342 to 2,000? You know what I mean? It's less than 25%.
But the thing is, and that's a great thing to also add to that. On November, we grew up, I think it was 47 customers. In 23 of those, that were related to TikTok.
Oh, see?
So
Wow.
that's what it is. That's the numbers.
Yeah, I was just talking to Larry Pivotal on my team the other day because, we just had Black Friday. So as DMs, I got to go audit all these rents. And when I'm looking at these new customers, a couple of my stores, half of the customers said Facebook or social media.
Exactly.
I mean, but it goes hand in hand. You have to ask, how did you hear about us? But really ask and dig into it. And then, I drove by. No, you didn't. Nobody's driving by anymore. Drive-by is websites now, first off, okay?
And that's a different meaning in another world.
But so speaking of which, I'm gonna switch gears here real quick. So, because I'm a big believer in social media. But is there any other marketing, maybe guerrilla marketing that you use that you feel works still?
So the other market is the old school. So I am very picky of doing EDDMs.
Okay, but you're a big fan of that.
I am, bro, and it works for me like a charm. But I'm a very systematic. I got my own plan. I know where I'm going with my EDDMs. We have 5 zip codes that we hit constantly. It is a cost-effective, but it creates results. And again, it's not somebody that walks in with the flyers to say, I just got this flyer, sell me. That's not the case. Along the conversation, when you talk to the customer, you find out, so how do you hear about us? So what the hell, you're here instead of Renaissance? Well, back in April, you sent me a flyer that says this TVs are this much. And my TV was working fine till yesterday.
Right.
And there you are. Now I remembered what I saw that freaking place, and I'm here because of the flyer I got sometime in the past. And that works. So as you said it, Danny, is just creating that brand, that thing that people say, yeah, I'm not going to go to great rooms and buy me a burger, but now I have a no TV or my fridge wore out, or I need an AC, or my mattress, or my mother-in-law's coming, and I had nothing but nails in the floor for her. Let me buy a mattress. There you go. So that is that branding, but that works for me. The other thing is I got so many apartment complexes, and hopefully they're not hearing this. So we go after,
I already know where you're going with
this. Different demographics, so they listen. I don't think they can listen to us.
I hope not. Particularly the managers or the management team. So we go after all the service guys that work on those apartments are gone, and that's about 4:30 to 5. So after 5, we go and just hang doors on all the apartments because this is the only time we can go there. The people will come right after, grab that, whether they throw it in the garbage or they have it inside the house. But there's no evidence that we did anything because by the next day in the morning, they're all gone. So we don't have that blood going on with them. Hey, come and pick up your flyers. You guys were not authorized to come in. And unofficially, we can do that without their authorization, but that's the nick of what we're doing.
Something that Danny and I always ask, because this business is really divided up into two halves, right?
Right.
Are you a credits person or are you a salesperson?
No, I'm always, and I always have been a sales guy. Even from a young age, my mother and I were working together at our home. God bless my mom, a single mother, raising 2 kids.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So she showed me the ropes of selling, and I used to sell powder door to door. I used to sell vacuums door to door. I work in her restaurant, and I was the waitress, and I always trying to upsell more people into more food. So by nature and by a long time, I've been always in sales, and it's just my nature, and I love sales. Although when I got in here, you have to learn new things, and then collections become my train hobby. I love to train people in collections because you have somebody that is willing to work with somebody that doesn't know and try to get some money. And when we school them on how to do it and how to do it better, and they get that result, they get that money, they get that payment, it's good for them because they learn a new skill, and you feel like, bro, this is nothing. You just got to be confident enough that you're talking to somebody that owes you money, and that money is yours. And you just got to get it to the drawer. That is all there is. So, in a nutshell, I'm more of a sales guy.
But you are heavily involved in your credit.
I have to.
I don't think you can be one or the other, like away from one too much for the other. Like you can be a salesperson, but you got to be in credit, or you can be a credit person, but you got to be involved in sales. But there's always like that line, right? Somebody like, I'm just a little bit more of a salesperson.
Correct.
I am. Danny's more of a credit guy.
I am 51 credit, 49 sales. Like I walk,
right.
I do. I walk in the door, and I'm with you, George. First and foremost is a showroom, sight, sound, smells. Make sure I'm looking good, because that's the 49% of sales in me. Is like, I know that's my silent salesman right there. You can't sell to nobody if you got a crappy showroom, for product, whatever. But once that's taken care of, my mind does immediately go, let me start calling my active customers and make sure we're on the same page here. And then I've always personally, I don't want an assistant credit manager. I want an assistant salesperson. Let them do a lot of the marketing, reel them in. Now, don't get me wrong, I can sell. I am very confident. I personally hate telemarketing. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and Pete, we talked about this. Like, if you give me a paid in full list and tell me start calling these customers, I'm already rolling my eyes. I do not want to call these. I don't want to make sales calls.
Like, let's go.
No,
let's go.
I don't want to do that.
Paid in full, let's go.
But tell me to call a route. Boom, I'm there. I got this.
See, that's part of what Danny and I wanted to do in the podcast was to show the many sides of the same part of the industry. Right. And it's like, I will do credit, right? It's part of the industry. It's part of what we have to do. It's part of how we make our money.
Definitely.
But man, he gets excited. You see that? You got excited. I'm gonna make some calls. I'm gonna call my credit. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, you give me that paid in full list. That's my bread and butter right there. So, everybody approaches it with such a different view, and that's why we wanted to talk to people in this industry. We've been doing a long time and doing different companies and different things, because everybody's gonna have that one thing that they gravitate towards. Right. Whether it's having a lot of customers and a lot of accounts, or running lean, or running heavy, or whatever the case is, and man, I'm a sales guy. I'm the same way. I'm a sales guy. I love to make those sales. And in reverse, my assistant guy would be the credit guy. Right. And then I would go in there and listen, hey, whoa, slow down. Or, yeah, no, we need to get that guy now. Right. But then I would go out and say, hey, how you doing, Miss Jones? You getting that thing today, right? Correct. Where that's just the personality.
And I think, bro, for my benefit, it works better when I'm concentrated on getting more customers in. Like, come in, buy. Come on, this is what we got. Get this, get that. And then I just go back the next day and say, okay, who's the one not paying? Who's the one that we got to get up? What the hell are we doing with this customer that's over 15 and we don't have any information that's valid? None of the phone is working, and we got to go visit them. So always I believe that the success is sell, and then collect.
Well, so I personally have a saying, and it's even my tagline in my email, and the slogan is credit first, sales always. I'm always selling, but I am a big believer of nice, tight credit makes it easier growth. That's why. So the tighter my overs are, the easier it is for me to generate and put more customers on top because I got a good handle on it.
True that.
So we started doing this to kind of shed a light in the rent-to-own industry. But one of the things that we come across is that rent-to-own has like this stigma, right? That, it's rent-to-own.
Yeah, we got
I don't
a bad
want to do
reputation
that.
out there.
We got a bad rep, and I don't understand why. I mean, now that I'm taking a look at it, we're trying to shine not just a light, but a big light, right? You've got your girl that's doing the TikToks. We're trying to do videos. We're trying to get everybody to see this is not the boogeyman, right? We're not the boogeyman of the industry. Why do you think rent-to-own has had such a crazy stigma coming unto now?
I'm a very, very much a witness to that. So, in everything that I have and I've seen, once I walk to a new store, and let's say this store, one, looks bad. Second, credit is high. And third, all the people are demoralized for whatever reason of previous management. What comes after that is all the customers that were mistreated by the drivers, mistreated by the manager. They couldn't talk to the guy in collections. And now they go about, and everybody in their neighborhood, don't go there because they're a bunch of a-holes. From the drivers to the managers, you can't talk to nobody. They're just bad people, horrible people. They're there to rob you, stab you, kill you, take your kids, rape you, and then, and hide the dogs because I heard they eat hot dogs for dinner. So, bro, it is that. It's just you build that bad reputation with a bad management and a bad crew. And then after a while, you come in, you clean the store. Customers come in to make the normal payment, and they said, "Oh, this place smells good, and it's looking better." And I see a bunch of new faces, and look at you, you're smiling. Well, let me tell you about my life. So I got a problem with my dog when I was born, and all these things, and they start spilling the guts. When they walked out with a better attitude than they walk in. And now they start talking to the customers or their friends. It's like, yeah, I went there. They went to a-holes before, but now they got no new crew. This new guy is a bald-headed guy. Go there. He's kind of funny looking, but very nice. He treats you well. He listens to you, and then I'm happy. So that stigma comes always from a bad management, and I can tell you that because it happens to every store I went to. Customers go there, nothing but complain the first day. And what we do is just sit back and listen. Let it all vent out. They come out and, bro, once they finish telling you the same story 4 times, you kind of stop and said, okay, well, that's then and this is now. So the stigma comes from that. Bad management, really bad crew, demoralized people. Because if you have a really driver that don't feel like he's going anywhere and he goes to drop your TV, and he drops the TV.
He's the last thing that they see.
Yeah, that's the last thing they see. And they said, he came here and dropped my TV and took off. Didn't even turn it on. Now this cracked TV, and I don't even have remote control. He said, F yourself. If you want a remote screen, you just go get some other place. Don't come to my store. So, that's demoralizing, bro.
Yes, the drivers, we talk about this all the time. The drivers is very an important position in the industry, and we got to set that tone almost immediately.
Well, I think it starts at the drivers. That's why we put out
It starts and finishes with the drivers.
You want to train the drivers right, because if you don't do that, it doesn't matter what you do in a store. It's that start. You start the right way. They come in, you greet them, you take care of everything, and then they walk out and they go home. And if they're not treated in their home right, it doesn't matter where they get treated outside. They want to get that treatment in home. Like, okay, they took care of me. They set it up. They looked at it. Yeah, I might have moved it 3 times. Yeah, I want it over here. Nope, no, you know what? I want it over here.
Correct.
But they didn't give me that, oh, man, like, come. They moved it. They took care of it. They turned it on. They asked me if I knew how to use it. They gave me the remote. They plugged in the HDMI to the cable box and even kind of connected it. It was a little bit out of their league, but they did it for me. Oh, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't have to pay for that? That was included?
That is the big seller, bro. And to have the drivers just ask them before they leave, do you have any questions? Do you understand the agreement?
Right.
Do you know when your next payment is? Do you remember how much cash you have to pay and how long do you have to pay that same as cash? And now remember, if you have any issues with whatever it is that you're having, just call and ask for the manager. They always throw my name in there because I guess I'm Mr. Fix-It. Just ask for the manager. He'll take care of you. Any questions, by all means, just that. And we are glad to have your business. Thank you so much for the business. And if we train the drivers to do that and lead the last impression as a good impression, it makes so much of difference when we call them back and say, this is your first payment. Is everything okay with the delivery? Delivery was fantastic. There's my money. And it helps collections easier. It helps build a better reputation, and it helps get more things sold.
So we've talked about a couple things, interviewing, social media, how we've kind of evolved, So you mentioned earlier, when we were talking about the interview, like, oh, this was 2019 before 2019 was fun. So in your opinion, how has COVID and the pandemic affect RTO, and what's the pros and cons?
All right. It has helped. A lot of things that help. One of the things, I remember being open Sundays and working on Sundays. It was
thank God we're closed now.
Yeah, man. Working on Sunday was no fun for anybody. Right. I remember working plenty of Sundays, and the way we had it is that I work a Sunday, then my sales guy works a Sunday, then my assistant works on a Sunday, and then I work the next Sunday. So out of the month, I work 2 Sundays, and that's fine because it's 4 or 5 hours, but it's 4 to 5 hours that I could be doing things at home, spending time with the kids, or just watching TV and doing nothing. But for that matter, I'm very grateful that we're not working on Sundays. We're actually working 5 days, and I enjoy that. The thing that I don't like about COVID, bro, is other than having many of my employees sick constantly for A, B, Z reasons, or we have plenty of them having the COVID and missing a week or 2 from employment. I myself did that too, which is not fun. Is this during the COVID, I remember days that we didn't see a single soul in the store other than the employees. We were open throughout COVID every single day, but there was many days that we didn't see a soul coming through, not even to make a payment. So that kind of diminished and evaporates the traffic there, new leads and everything. We learned a new business now, which is all text message and send pictures and have that. So it kind of retires some of our good walking customers into just since I've been doing business with you, I'm just calling you and I need a laptop. We'll deliver. I need a game system. We'll deliver. I need a mattress. We'll deliver. I need a bedroom set. We'll deliver. I need a couch. I'm going to send you pictures of what, because I don't know what the hell you want. But we'll deliver. So we stopped seeing many customers, bro, and that put a hint on it. The other thing is things got extremely freaking expensive. I remember couches that we were purchasing at half the price that we're paying now. And they said, oh, it's only 10% of increase. It seems like it's 100% because we used to pay $300 for a couch, and now we're paying $600. That's not 10%.
Well, if everybody ups it to 10%, right? So you got the 10% on the base price, 10% on the freight, 10% on the fuel surcharge. Then it comes into the store. We have to make some of that money back, unfortunately, and it always gets passed on. Right. So then that's another 10%. Before you know, it's 50%. Well, hell, I mean, that's where it's at.
It is. It is amazing. So now we understand that, and people still have the same money. It's not like their money has increased. Right. They still have the same budget. So now, in order for us to continue doing the business, rather than being 18 months rent to own, we have to tag everything for 24 months and extend it for 6 more months. So that way, the customer doesn't feel like, oh, damn, I was used to pay $30 for this couch and I got to pay $60. I'm going to stay with the old couch. So now we have to work some way in the sense that we will get our profits. It's going to take another 6 months to get our full profits, but there's another adjustment that we have to do. And that's the thing that I don't like about it. But it is what it is, and at least we're bringing some profits.
Well, that's the wise words of wisdom from George at Great Rooms on Armenia. What are some of the topics that you think that we should cover here on the show? Something that you would want to hear as somebody who's been in the business a long time, not just attracting the new people to rent to own, but people that might not know the industry as well as you do. What's something that you would like to hear for us to talk about, some kind of topics that we should discuss?
Well, I believe, guys, in this business, it's all about training. Oh. And sometimes, man, I see that we bring new people to this business with the hopes that the manager will train him or the hopes that somebody else will train him. And people get frustrated when you spend 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month and all you do is the same little thing. Oh, you just do that. We don't want you to learn anything. You just make that phone call and I'll tell you what to make. Or you go ahead and hit these people and you just go knock the door. If they open, immediately call me. I'll talk to them. So I believe that we should have, like many other companies that I used to work for, some sort of a lab work where we bring employees that have no freaking clue what rent-to-own is, and you bring them to this lab or school or what have you,
and you have already all these scenarios planned out, and this is what we're going to do. Like, for instance, you bring the drivers and you're going to teach them how to blanket the stuff, how to protect the stuff in the truck, how to strap things the right way, how to set up a TV, how to set up a Wi-Fi, and how to connect all these things, how to build from a nightstand to a complete bedroom set just for the drivers. So when they go out, they know how to plug a dryer and make sure it works. They know how to test for 220 or 110. They know how to plug a washing machine. They know how to take the refrigerator doors off if they need to deliver to a trailer that only fits, 2 feet on wide. All those things got to be thought. And the same train of thought is just teach how somebody's going to be doing collections, how to deal with the customer, how to deal with an angry customer, how to explain that history payments, how to look into all these factors that will make the customer understand our process. Because if we don't know about rent-to-own, the customers that start with us know a lot less of rent-to-own and how these things work. And who better to explain that than the guy who's actually trying to get some money? But if he doesn't know how, immediately goes to the manager, and now the manager is everywhere. Also, it'll be great if we can have the same lab for training managers that will know everything from the delivery, collection, sales, marketing, to the point where you throw them into the store, they'll be like, I can do this because I know how to do this. It's like taking a high school kid and putting him to run a store with no freaking help, clue on intentions on being successful. But yeah, we demand them to be successful at all levels. And like, bro, figure it out. Nobody's going to figure it out everything. You can figure some things out. But at the end of the day, it's about how we teach them and what we teach them and how long are we going to spend the time. Because after that, it's all repetition to get them going well. But to get to that repetition, you have to learn what are you going to repeat and how constantly you're going to repeat it. Is about teaching. So a great thing for you guys, I think, they'll be promoting to have some sort of school, RTO school. There will be, from level 1 to maximum grade, will be a manager. And everybody that goes there will come out of there knowing something. Every store is different, and every store will have different type of customers. You have to deal with them different. But the actually essence of rent-to-own can be taught in a school-like environment. And that will be great. And I know you guys have, between the two of you, have plenty of experience. Danny, you're getting collections, and I'm sure you be able to teach these kids everything that you seem to be right for them to at least grab the first phone and start making calls without just being thrown out. And this is a phone, and this is how you call. This is the numbers. You press these numbers, that you see the numbers on the screen. And when somebody answers, you say, "Give me my money, bitch," or else, other than that. And
Chris Kale said, I remember when I first started in this industry, I went to a manager meeting, and he said, if all you're going to do is call a customer and say payment or pickup, then I can get a monkey and a parrot to do your job. A monkey to dial the numbers and a parrot to say payment or pickup, payment or pickup. And it's so funny you're talking about training, and we're looking at each other laughing and looking at each other because
we literally just had an episode about that. We've been talking about it because we feel the same way. We feel like it's one of those things. We're churning through so many people right now, and as the people who are in the business, we got to look back and go, why? What's going on? Are we not doing something wrong? Because if we're getting them in, they're not staying. There has to be something going on, and I think it falls into the training. They see something like, I have no idea what you're doing. I don't want to call people. I don't know how to talk to people when they come in the door. I might be good at texting. I mean, I can move stuff, but I don't really know how to do this. They walk out instead of us. And I'm not trying to blame any one store, any part of the industry, but if we sat them down and said, this is really what you're getting into, right? Let me show you how to do this so they can feel secure about it, changes the world.
Exactly.
Again, it's a new era. And, we've been talking about this, and I know we're really going to try to implement a new onboarding training class for Rent King in the 23 because it's a generation thing. Here's the thing. You guys are a little bit older than me, but I went through the same training experience, and it was sink or swim. That was our training. Did you go to a class? Did you go to school for rent-to-own? Or did you learn side by side with Chris Mueller how to do everything?
I learned side by side.
Okay, so Pete, your first person, right. Same thing with me. It's like, hey, this is what you do. You get some very basic, and then it was kind of like, let you go out a little bit, bring you back in. Let you go out a little bit, bring you back in. And that was the training. But these kids, and I say kids, but millennials, they're not going to operate. They're not going to be successful that way.
Gen Z is really, really
probably
big that
even
way
far
too.
off worse. Like they need the more training. And in fact, I'm even thinking that might be part of a hiring process. It's more of like a classroom session. This is what you're going to experience. Are you sure you want to be part of this industry? Because they might get into it like, whoa, I got to go to people's houses.
Well, that might be, that might be one of the things we're talking about. A video, video would be great for that. Put some on-the-job videos and say, hey, this is what you can get yourself into, and not the bad thing, because there's always good and bad, but at least to say, hey, you're going to be dialing. This is what you'll be doing, like computer work where you're dialing, you're talking to people. Okay, done. You might have to go to a customer's home and diagnose things. That's done. You might have to talk to somebody who has no idea what they want. They know they want something, but they don't know what. Now you got to go out there and kind of figure it out and kind of get it out of them without really just going, hey, what do you want, right? Like you got to get out to what are your needs? How big is your family? What are you trying to do with this? Are you trying to match any type of decor? How many chairs do you want? Where am I fitting a trailer or an apartment or a huge house? What are we doing? And sometimes I think that's daunting for some people, and maybe we should do that. We should, hey, watch this 10-minute video. Let me know. Is this work for you?
Step of the hiring process.
Definitely. but also, guys, what I think is that every manager has a strength, and every manager has a good team in certain things. So, like for instance, if I was to hire a new driver, I will send that new driver for a week to another good driver that I have in the company. That hang with this guy, train this guy, have him going, teach him. Make sure that he knows how to back up a truck, because everybody knows how to do things until they have to do it. And the same thing with collections. I just send that new guy, said, hey, hang out with Brownlow or anybody that is done collections. Don't mind having somebody shadow him. Listen to the conversations the first day. The second day, hey, you're going to make conversations. You're going to make phone calls to somebody that's 5 days and down all the way to 0 days and see how comfortable you feel. The next day, I do from 10 days down to 0 days. And then now you're having somebody to be able to look at history before he makes a call, and somebody that's over and know what's going on. What does he have? When many payments he made, and be able to talk some sense into the customer. And that will be for collections and sales. You got to have this person going to somebody that's been good in sales, that don't mind having somebody following. And this is what we do. This is what we say. This is the catalog. This is how the catalogs work. This is how you're going to price it, and so on and so forth. When we release that person to the store, now the manager knows, at least he knows our ABCs. Let me show up a little more, but she has an idea of what it is. So you don't have them from that green, because there's managers to managers. Some managers can teach, some other managers cannot. And some managers love to delegate. Some managers, look, I'd rather do it myself because I know it's going to get right. And you're new, you have no clue what's going on. Sorry about the echo.
We'll bleep it out. Don't worry.
So it is to the best knowledge to always have somebody that's great on that particular subject to train somebody new. At least it'll give them a better chance to come back to the store and be able to, I'm here to help you, not take time away from you for you to train me. My thoughts. I don't know if that
I
helps.
agree wholeheartedly. I think, that is some great advice right there. So, this is like a formal interview,
Right.
So I always ask this for people in an interview. What's your end goal? What's your 5-year plan? What's your goal, George?
Well, I'm 60 right now.
You look great, by the way. Yeah, man. I thought you were in your 50s, to be honest.
No, I'm 60.
Okay.
Bro. I took a shower today because
Oh,
I know I
nice.
had this
Okay.
interview.
I
so
appreciate that.
That helps that young vibe, bro. That young vibe comes out.
You gotta smell good, bro. You gotta smell
Yeah,
good.
you got to smell good too. A good presentation. That's done. So 5 years, I hope to retire, and then on 65, I'm just gonna work in real estate and do some house flipping.
Okay.
With my kids, and
Nice.
That'll be that at least keep me busy.
Yeah.
While enjoy retirement. Hopefully, 5 years. My goal.
I actually thought that you were going to say something like maybe own a rent-to-own franchise. That actually was one of the first things I thought you were going to say.
No. I had my chance to do that, but I passed it by. When they were opening the great rooms, I didn't feel that I will be a good fit to be an owner. Was more in the mind of, let me find something wrong to fix it rather than open it a new store, because that really I'm not familiar with it. I'm familiar with going in there, get the files, get the store, get it clean, call customers, get all this stuff ready and rolling, and presenting you with something that it was broken and now is, look, Ball Live is good, making profit and nice. So that was my take back then. I had mistakes that you do in life, but I can't complain. Life has been good.
Well,
to me.
Pete's definitely experiencing the opening a new store. I've never done it, and you've never done it before now?
Out of all the 18 and a half years I've been doing this, not even close to a brand new store. And let me tell you, I did a lot what you did at Rack, at Buddy's. Go over here, fix that in a year or two or whatever it is. I'm going to send you somewhere else. And that was a cycle, man. That was my cycle, and I really learned how to do that. This new store thing, you don't have old people to call. Exactly. You don't have PIFs to call. Exactly. You don't have a base. You're building your base as you're training, as you're growing. It's a completely different ballgame. Right. Something that I'm glad I have to be, I'm able to be a part of. But man, let me tell you, it's not the same. It's not what I'm used to. It's definitely outside of my wheel set. I'm glad when it's over, whenever that might be, so I can say, I did it, but it's not easy.
You got one up on me, bro, because I had never done. And that's the thing that I wasn't certain that I was going to be successful at, because it was always there's the keys, you're on your own. It's like, God damn it, bro. Nothing is fixed, everything is new. I got no customers to call or fix. Damn, this is a new business. So, with that said in mind, I was like, no, I'll give it to somebody else that really is going to thrive on that. Let me continue doing what I'm doing because I'm good at this. So I know I'm good at this and I can deliver on this and my promise and my word.
Danny, know your sweet spot.
I was just about to say.
We just had that conversation in one of our podcasts, was to know your sweet spot. Like you're saying, I know I'm a guy who goes and I can fix that. I know that. There's no question about it. Going and taking a new store, not my cup of tea, because you've been in the business and you know this. You can say that my wheel set, I know what I got. Can I do that? Shit, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I'm dealing with it now. Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out.
For sure.
And that creates doubts. And when you have a doubt, it's like, bro, I don't want to walk into a place doubting myself that I can deliver as I promise, because then always your last job is the one you're going to kind of impregnate your what to say about George. It's not what you did, but what you're doing right now. So if I'm failing at this right now, you suck. And you know what? My mistake. I put you on a spot that
you're definitely not failing, George. Larry talks very highly of you all the time. He uses you as an example for our Tampa market, whether it's your credit and overs, whether it's your low idle inventory, your low 90-day inventory.
Man, if I hear that one more time,
we hear that quite often.
He tells me all the time.
The stream boxes. Which that's going to be a totally separate episode we're going to do later. Maybe we're going to get your input on the stream boxes, but, but you're definitely doing your thing, man. Definitely doing your thing.
Yeah, he's always like, hey, there's only $5 of inventory in there, Can you do that? I got $125,000, Larry. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. He's like, well, George can do it, and he made 50 sales last week. How about you? Okay, just give me a minute, bro. Give me a minute.
That's funny, bro. Because it's what you hear. I have to hear also. When Larry comes in, there's always, and I'm not to be hating on Larry. I got a lot of respect and admiration for the guy. But it's always, you're doing so well, but you're not as good as so-and-so. Like, their profit margins are this, that, and that. But, hey, now we're talking about Frank, and look at it. He's got a little store, and his margins are, now the money he collects over the month is 120%. Meanwhile, you only collect 100%. What's up with you, man? Can you do that? I'm like, God damn, Larry, I don't know, bro. But maybe God bless you.
That's his coaching technique.
Yeah, it is.
Puts everybody against each other to try to make everybody, the cream rise to the crop.
Man,
and that works.
Sometimes
it does work. It gets you motivated. Like, man, if I have to hear that guy's name one more time,
oh my God,
yeah,
bro, he will mention the name I'm not going to mention. He would say it all the time. He'd be like, look, man, give me a break, man. Give me a break. I'm working it.
I want to be at 120% collected, bro. I really want to be. Damn, Larry. What's going to be next?
Yeah. But you're doing a great job.
February number and the 120% is really high, and you go, okay, I'll try. We're going to get there. We'll get there. TikTok, baby. TikTok.
There you go.
But, George, first off, thank you very much for sitting down with us today. Any final thoughts, George?
Well, I thank you guys. I think you guys are doing a good job. And one thing that I see is you guys being at DMs, that you have outlasted many of us that we were at ranking DMs. And that's perhaps because you guys are doing a good job. Kudos to you guys. I'd see that you put a lot of effort, not only on your stores, but through podcasts and a lot of social media. My heart goes to you guys because there's a lot of work as a DM. And I've been there. I know how it can get crazy. and then crazier, and then super crazy, and then to the point you said, like, you start dwelling about, should I be doing this or should I just take a gun and start killing people? I don't know.
Danny.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro. I have that, but I applaud to you guys, your effort. Hopefully this continue being a success road to you guys, and just nothing but good wishes and congratulations on your podcast.
Thank you very much,
that.
George.
Appreciate that.
And with that being said, this is the RTO Show with Danny and Pete.